What's going on, y'all? What's going on now, Ammonites? The answers have been putting something on my hat rack while I was driving. And I'm seeing it in my mind's eyes, and they teaching me and telling me these things, that it's important that we, and especially women, have to stop causing division by the words you say out your mouth in regarding your gender, as if your gender is more superior than a man. And men, you have to stop saying, oh, because you're a male and you're masculine, that you are more superior than a woman. And it's important that you have to understand something, that first and foremost, the signs don't lie. Because I explained to you that it states on earth are signs of sure faith. And it's important because what that really means is that if you want to get technical, because all these signs identify with who you are and who we are. Now let's be clear. First and foremost, let's go back to the biblical when it says that Adam was the first thing that was created. After Adam, a part of Adam, that side again, you know, remember I was telling you about the H? That side, the rib, was taken from Adam to create a woman. And what did the Bible say? It says you created a what? A partner, right? So we understand that woman was created to be a partner for man. Not an adversary, not a race to show that the feminine is more dominant or that the male is more dominant than the female. It is what it is. This is important because you have to understand something, women. That being a rib created from Adam, right? A rib is what? A rib. A rib. Understand the signs within a rib. Even in the signs within a rib, you have A being 1, which represent the masculine, which represent the phallus. Rib being 3, which represent the power of 13, is the reason why you see at the Last Supper, 13 people at the Last Supper. We're going to talk about that. Understand something. A rib. Now, if you understand when you write out a rib, and in the Torah and a lot of ancient texts start from reading from right to left. So a rib, when you place the A next to the R, right? Because now from right to left you have R, A, which say Ra, R, A, listen, B, I.
Damn, Clemson, you snapped on this one. Jammy on the beat, boy.
Right? Ra, B. Or, excuse me, let's go by Ra. Because we're going from right to left. When we're going from right to left, it would say B, B-I-R-A. B-I-R-A. As in a byproduct. Or as in by Ra. Because understand, remember I told you that the I makes the E sound. So in essence, a rib, be Ra. To be a part of, a byproduct, a part of Ra. This is why in the word, the masculine, when you hear he, you don't have the feminine next to it. That's when you have him, you don't have the feminine next to it. But in everything that's dealing with the wording of a woman, you understand that in her, you're going to have next to the he, the R. Let's understand something. The R, this is important because the R is what in the alphabet? The R represents 18 in the alphabet, right? The R is the 18th letter in the alphabet, which represents 1 and 8. a circle in a circle. The masculine and the feminine and the masculine working together. Together. The word together set by having two in it. Together. They work together. You see, the 8 is nothing more than two circles. Signs is applicable because these signs go back to creation. You see? And in the circles, because the woman, we come from the womb in the circle of life. This is why you have in these two circles of the 8.
In the letter H, there's 5 individual ones that make up the architecture design of the H. H is the 8th letter in the alphabet. And as you can see, you have the green, the blue, the orange, the yellow, and let's say the purple. That would make 5. This is how powerful 8 is, because 5 parts that makes the letter for 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 8 is a very, very powerful letter as well as a number. Let's see. So when we do this here, you will see. Let me show you in case you don't catch it or you don't get it. So we go like this here, just to show you. We have a circle here. That means 1, 2. This one right here, 3, 4, and 5. 8 plus 5 gives you 13.
Which represent also the sun and the moon. The moon and the sun. What happens when the sun go down? The moon comes up. The moon comes up. What happens when the moon goes down? The sun comes up. The 8. They work together. And of course, as I told you, the R represents 18. The R, that which connects to He. The one. The supreme being. Nowhere does it say in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Quran, or any religious text to identify with a woman being a netter in the a god. Let's use the words that y'all understand as being a god in the text. Why is that? Because it could has a lot to do with the male's gender dominating by placing this into fruition or writing into text. But what I'm saying is still not stated, right? So we're going back to science. We have to understand something. Now, a woman being a byproduct coming from the rib, as that book states that y'all familiar with, and understand the process. Because if you understand, even in the masculine one being named, I am who I am, and we identify that God being masculine gender, when he says his side, that he would turn, that Abraham would be able to see his side, and then he fell unconscious. So we know that's a masculine. It's important that you understand. We finna bust that about the water, because we got a lot of movements out there that's swelling their head up and not understand that we all working together. Women, stop putting yourself over the males. Men, stop putting yourself over the women. We are to work together. This division was created. It's not meant for one to dominate over the other, but to work together, to build together. Understand this process. Women, you are a nurturer, right? Because even in the process of intimacy, the phallus enter into the circle. And even in that process of intimacy, the phallus enter into the circle. Even as that serpent semen sperm still has to enter into another circle, another double penetration. Listen, teach you something you ain't never heard before. The serpent, which is the sperm, still have to enter into, to break the hem, as in the virginity, have to wiggle into intercourse and enter in a multiple combustion happen in the circle. This is where the initiation comes from. You see? And entering into the circle of a woman where life began, things began. You see? The witch rides the broom for a reason. Why is that? Why ain't the devil a female? And why is it that it's a masculine, even on the polarity of that which is God being a masculine, as it states, and then even the devil, or Lucifer, as y'all want to call him, being still a masculine, and his counterpart is Lilith. But it is the devil that they speak of. He had tricked mankind. The Quran say that Iblis said, because thou hast thrown me from my way, I shall attack them from before them, from behind them, from the right of them, and from the left of them, the cross. And if you understand that cross formation, front, from the head, down below, from the left to the right, that represent the cross, which also represents the cross. It also represents, this cross also represents what an X is. What is the X? The X have to represent the female chromosome. This is not to say a woman is evil. It's to understand something that you still have to cross over to go into. The X represents the one and the one coming together. Masculine and feminine. Masculine and feminine. Being that the woman came from the rib, this is why the X became the X. Because that part which connects, supposedly from the rib, as it states in the Bible. I'm using the words that y'all can understand. The X represents the female chromosome. The Y represents the masculine with the phallus. The V with the gender, the masculine, the penis. Had a bit of a turn. You see, they work together. Understand something, that even in that process, that procreation, there's three folds. There's the entering, the masculine, the phallus entering into the circle, the sperm entering into the circle, and then three folds. Even when coming out, the baby has to come out through the circle, the tribe. You see? Now I spoke about the witch riding the phallus, because all this is a mystery. You missed it. Y'all not understanding the power. You're not comprehending the power of dark matter. You're not comprehending the power of what happens at night. The moon, the circle of the moon, the energy. Understand something. I spoke to you about this before, but y'all still didn't get it. Understand of the power and the rod, the masculine, and the power of them working together. You see, this is how you understand that as above, so below. On earth are signs for those of surest faith. Understand something. When you go to the gas station, it's a pump, it's a phallus that's going into the car, that's filling it up. When you driving, your car don't start except by a phallus entering into the ignition to initiate, to ignition, to start up that engine. That start, the key represents the phallus entering into a car. The phallus is also represents that one man, and men, only one key can't open up all cars, but it's a special key. You have to be a special key, a master key, to be able to open and start the engine of a woman. A special key. These signs is for a reason. These chisels on the key is for a reason. And when you pay attention to your key, you'll see that a lot of these keys has pyramidal shapes on it, because you identify that only a certain one can enter and start that ignition. But understand something, in the ignition also, as you get the word initiate, in the ignition, all these signs is for a reason. You see, you get energy by what? Every time that you walk by, you drive by, you see stoplights, you see electric poles shooting up from the ground. Energy, Same thing is what a phallus does. When the pharaoh pass on, what is standing up on the pharaoh to identify with resurrection? The erect penis, the erect phallus. Understand the importance of these signs, because on earth are signs for those as sure as faith. It doesn't mean, women, y'all think just because you verbally aggressive that you're strong. That don't make you a strong black woman because you verbally aggressive. That just means nobody want to deal with you. You're supposed to work with your partner. You understand? I said that, and it was given to me. My ex-wife used to say that, the woman is the neck. And the neck can't move. The man be in the head, but the neck can't move. The head can't move without the neck. Understand something, but they still work together, not separate. See, women who talk like this and men who talk like that, it's all about division. It's all about what Willie Lynch is, turn one against the other. But when you work together, you become strong. You don't hear the sun. You don't see the sun complaining how the moon is standing up too long, or the moon complaining how the sun is standing up too long. Understand something. Listen, men. Before there was the king piece being the singular move, the roles had changed. I bet you didn't know when you do your research that the powerful piece on the chessboard was originally the woman. She was originally, listen, the woman was originally that one piece. It's only moved one time, like the king. And the king used to move like this here. They switched the roles around that the king became behind the scene and the queen represents the sharpshooter, one of the powerful pieces that protects the king. Why is that? Because you have here on earth signs that's showing on television, movies, music, showing women being more dominant, making men more docile. Fruits from the foods, from the soy, which is nothing more than estrogen being placed in the body to make men docile, from the chemicals that are being placed in the meat that men eat, that people eat, that make men more feminine, from the movies that's showing women being dominant as captains, lieutenants, and the men being in the background, that a man don't speak, that a woman's supposed to speak, but on earth are signs for those that sure as faith. Why ain't there a woman lion king? But you understand that as a lion king, that the king represents the lion. These signs is trying to understand something. That the king, the lion, represents one of the king of the beasts on the animal kingdom. But it's the pride that works together. It's the women that decide if the king is going to stick around. Because if that king is not holding his function accordingly, the women will eat that king up, will nibble on his balls. They will choke him out and eat him up and eat his penis. Just watch it. Watch the wildlife. Watch these signs are here for a reason. You see, everything dealing with the masculine because it's identifying that the traits of society as above, so below. A pistol represents the phallus. The bullet represents the sperm. A cigar represents the phallus. These are the signs. I didn't make these up. You have to understand something. On earth are signs for those as sure as faith. And you have to comprehend that it's not meant to have division amongst us. So get that out your head, women. Trying to make a man more less than. That women's supposed to lead. No, women, y'all supposed to work together. That's why you got on the first wording of woman, understand something. The W represents nothing more than what? The W of a woman is nothing more than the M of a man. It represents likened to a crown. Because if you understand, even in the woman having the pyramid inside of her, it's still the phallus that's still inside of a woman. Because if you understand something, the vortex is what a woman has. Women, when you close your legs up, that's that V. But in the W, it represents 1 and 1. The master, 1 and 1. And the pyramid of the phallus shoots up, working together. being initiated by the divine to be able to procreate. A seed cannot proceed and grow on its own, but a seed have to enter into the dirt, the earth. Women, you represent the earth. You are to grow the seed. You are to cultivate the seed. The man is to listen to good advice, because when we put our arm around our partner, you represent that rib. We put our arm around the rib, right? Ain't that what we do? We hold our partner, put our arm around the rib. You know, we put our arm around our woman, you clean close to the rib. We are powerful when we work together. It's not meant for us to have division, women saying that they more superior to men. Oh, because you come through my portal. What that means? It was still the creator that placed the energy inside to procreate, to give life. Understand, it's not the sperm that's inside of the woman that gave life, but it's still the sperm has to enter into the woman to create life. Even though there's signs to say that women still able to do it, but outside of the signs on earth are still signs for those that sure as faith. We have to stop with the division, but we still must work together. As the seed hit the dirt of the earth, the woman fertilizes by the elements. She can't do it alone, but it's the elements. The witch rides the broom for a reason. Why do you think that the phallus, the head of a phallus, is likened to a mushroom? What happens when you eat a mushroom? Psychedelics, right? When you eat a mushroom, it's the juices from that mushroom that have you to tap in. When a woman is consuming and being intimate with her partner, because there is a spiritual juice of this matter, of melon, you see, of a dark matter. It's not negative, it's to identify with the polarities of being initiated. Yeah. The witch rides the broom. Why ain't the witch holding the broom flying around? Can't the bridge just hold the broom and fly around? Why can't a witch just stand on top of the broom and fly around? Why is there a cat in front or sometime on the back of this stick that represents the phallus? She's riding the stick. It's like this here. That's what you see a witch doing. To identify with the two working together. The cat, the witch, and the broom. You see? And it happens at night to identify with the energy of the polarities of the two working together. This is where the real initiation starts with understanding the polarities of the two. Once you tap in, what one is able to do once you tap in. But you have to tap in. This is where the pyramid comes from, of the argon energy. From the moon. You see? And even the word moon, as I explained to you, for those who don't know, you don't get female all the way in moon, because in moon you got, listen, you got M-O, then you got O-N. Even in moon you got the masculine. Listen, you got the masculine of the O-N represents the sun, M the M-O, or the O-M, the OM, or the M-O. Even in everything in creation has this duality. You understand, the first creator is in create her, nourish her, energize her, or say energizer. Even in the word energizer, energize a bunny. Women can get energized by her partner, and some women can get drained by dealing with a negative partner. See, there's an energy process is given when creators come together. You see, when one has creative thoughts and a woman is in positive polarity, they can create. Much can be done to one who is able to create. They work together. Sun and the moon works together. The eyes for one to see. But you have to understand that even in the A come together, still come in the middle. As the H forms in the middle. As the rib that came from the side of the rib of Adam, coming from the middle. Even inside of a woman and procreate life, the phallus has to enter into the apex, the A, of a woman, or the V of a woman, and going in. So let's grow. You have to develop. Stop allowing yourself to think negative or thinking one is better than the other, because the signs don't lie. The pharaohs had their queens next to each other because they represent the 1 and the 1, the master number 11, the pharaoh in the middle, Isis and Nephthys, the 1 and the 1, not belittle, not up under him, not above him, but they work together. They're his shoulders. They represent the queen on the chessboard, one of the most powerful pieces on the chessboard. See, the only this information only come about by certain beings from different planets where the women are in charge. Listen, on different planets, on different galaxies and different planets, where different beings from different planets live, the women on different planets rule. Down here on Earth, we are to work together. And rulership is only given by those delegated and how it was assigned. Because what's already been implemented cannot be changed. You see? If you're really divinely guided and you protect it, your protection is going to happen regardless. You see? If you protect it, don't necessarily have to pray for it. It's going to happen for you because it's meant for you. But in prayer, when you pray, you still have in the word pray, you have P and you have Ra in the middle of when you pray. Just like in Ra, you have Ra in the middle of the word brain. Ra is a masculine. It's not female brain, but in the word brain is Ra. In the word he is a masculine name, which is a Hebrew name. It's in the heart. We still have to work together. The two work together. The eyes work together. The two noses work together. Women and men, we must work together. The only time one step down and allow one to stand up, masculine and feminine, is to be voted upon or one decide to. This is a choice. This is a free will. But in the earth, that which is below, you have female hornets who run the hive. You have female bees that run the hive. You have female ants that run that kingdom underground. On top, what's known to be the king of creation of the jungle is the Lion King. Outside of that, we must work together. Understand something, that the word female, that's a byproduct of two. If you remove the fee from female, you have male. In the word fee, male, what happens when you use the word fee? Right? You have to pay a fee to get in somewhere. Fee represents the same definition in the sense to the actual word to pay a fee. A fee male receives a fee male is given to the male. The amount for a male. You understand something? A fee is being given to a male. A female is the byproduct of two. Because when the masculine enter into a woman, he makes a deposit. That fee creates a fetus. A fetus. A fee, F-E-T, crossing over into the us. How do you spell fetus? F-E, F-E again, F-E, fee, the T representing the cross, and then the us, fetus, fetus, is what happens when the masculine deposits into the woman. This is why when it says in the text that I did, y'all gotta look back, when it says that there was no actual marriage in the sense of a holy matrimony or ceremony. No, it was a covenant, a agreement between a male and a female. It's a fee for this female. She said, what was he says? The Most High says to go into thy brother's wife, a woman, so that he may have offspring. She said, but what will thou give me that thou will keep thy promise? What will thou give me? A fee. And he gave her, she said, give me the ring. She said, give me the bracelet. She said, give me that staff. 3. The ring, the bracelet, and the staff to show her importance to her sacred area. An agreement. That same agreements that's being met with those in the spiritual realm, with those who have their covenant with their partner in these realms. You see, there's a physical world as is there a spiritual world that is the same conjunction as the physical, but the spiritual is just as powerful. You see, I could be intimate with you in the spiritual and it'll be as magnificently powerful as if you was being intimate in the physical, because there's a spiritual body as well, which represents the energy. Stick at the topic. A fee, 3 letters, F-E-E. But in the word female, it's powerful, because even in the word, listen, because even in the word female, it's 2 letters. Female, you get 2 letters that makes female. You have the F. Remember I told you what the F represents? The F represents 6. The 6th letter in the alphabet is F. You don't get 6 except by saying sex, because the I is E in the old language. English is a made-up language that's broken up of many languages. F is 6. What's the next letter from fee? E. Listen, higher science. The E is the 5th letter in the alphabet, but don't you know that the E is nothing but the sperm tilted over like a baby in the womb? Next to the 6 of a woman, the F and the E. The F represents the 6 of a woman, 6 and 5. 6 and 5 represents the L. Wait, excuse me. 6 and 5 represents 1 and 1. 6 is the F. E, listen, E represents the fetus. The E is the sperm. Hunched over. Because when you look at the sperm has the tail and the head. Now, the E is curled up like into a sperm with the head of a fetus hunched over next to the F of a woman. Understand something, higher science, understand something, that the F is broken up of 3 parts. The E in capital form is broken up into 3 parts. The architecture, the design of who? The F made up of 3 parts. 1 this way, line this way, listen. 1 this way, line this way, line this way, and then a line at the bottom. Look, the bottom, 1 point, 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, 3 parts. A capital E. Listen, capital E, 1. 1, 2, 3. The back is the base. The polarities of 3. Master numbers. Listen, 3 parts and 3 parts. 6, F, and then E. 3 and 3. 5 and 6. 11, master number. Listen, 5 and 5, master number. Listen, higher science, a little bit of the mysteries of mythology. You see? Because the F is really a lowercase e. Excuse me. The F is really a lowercase r. A R on top of another R. Look, little r. Another little r that form your F. R is 18. So you have 18 and 18, which represents 36 degrees, which represents a circle. The women, you embody the circle because you represents the circle of life. You represents the circle of initiation. Because in order for one to go through something, got to go through something, got to go into something. You see? But the circle is nothing without the pen. This is why when you look at the symbol of the Ra and the Re sign, the circle with the dot in the middle is nothing more than the phallus, the penis. With the P hole that represents the middle, that represents Ra. That represents the Ra or the Re. The two working really together. You see? How many circles are there? How many, what's the old saying say? How did Mike Weston used to say? He says, how many sides are there in a circle? How many sides are there in a circle? Yeah, how many sides are there in a circle? Italian guy. Give me my Italians. But I love my comrade Mike Weston. Old monster. Shout out to Mike Weston if he's still alive. So how many sides are there to a circle? I said, I don't know. He said the inside and the outside. Listen, because the circle and the dot, there's a circle here and a circle on the outside. Even in the circle, there's really two sides because there's the outside. How many sides are there in a circle? The outside and the inside. Because truthfully, the inside and then the outside. Understand that we all signs, and these signs are the ancient mystery from the nectar, handed down from the gods, through the gods, by the gods. But the two working together, 6 and 5. There's no other numbers from 1 to 10 or 1 to 9. How many numbers face the right? Answer that question. From 1 to 9, how many of the numbers facing right? The only two numbers facing right is 6 and 5. They facing right. All the other numbers facing left. 6 and 5. 6 plus 5 give us 11. And when you write out the word for 11, you get El, which represent the Elohim, the Els, the elders, the elect. You see what I'm saying? The El even, because when you equal 6 and 5, give you 11 because they work together. Stop speaking women and men as if one being higher than the other. It only from the gods through the gods that ones was placed in the position of a power because the divine felt one was noble and capable and able. But we all still must work together. This is why the 13 represents Mary at the table. It represents in the future this Christ who initiate, and they will work together on a higher polarity and a higher consciousness. Black magic and dark magic is to say that it's a melanated magic. Black magic to identify that magic came from a people of color, melon. Tapping into the melon, tap into the outside, what represents the inside, because the outside, the unseen. The inside is the dark matter that's within, because it's unknown unless it's been brought forth. And it takes somebody to bring that which within you out into the light. It's important that you understand that there's a higher mystery in all things that lower level thinking people, the mundane, won't be able to catch up on. Have you ever wondered why the word sacred is really twofold. That in order for you to say sacred, you first had to spell out sack red. Why is the sack red sacred? Don't you know that when a woman is pure in her virginity, she has a hem that breach. That hem that breach when a man enter into the hem of a woman, when the sperm break the hem into the egg, the hem of a baby breaking the sac and coming forth with the fluids. That whole process of intimacy in the physical as well as the spiritual, there's a sac of blood that makes it sacred. Pacts and oath is made with the blood, which makes it sacred. Just as a virgin once entered, she's going to shed some blood, because the hem has to be ripped in order for the man to have entry into her sacred space. Sack red, sacred. Red is sacred. Red identifies with the sack of life, the fluids. You know, if you never seen the process of birth, that when the sac busts, what comes out? That sacred process is to understand. Oath and pacts is always given by a form of blood, and to show how the woman represents the initiation and how the both represents each other. That's why it has always been, even in organizations, well, gangs, different type of sets of those who ride motorcycles, that the women has to go through the brothers, because they're one and the same. To be initiated, the woman has to be initiated with all the males. In certain organizations, in certain gangs, from Cali for Neil all the way to the meal. That's sacred. And they got those saying to say it's sacred religion. No, it's sack and red. That red sack. To understand something. That once that sack busts and you violate and you break your oath, the same way you came in is the same way you go out. Understand that there's a sack within these spiritual realms. That oath that must be given. And once it's broken by the covenant not being fulfilled by one's part, there's a sack that is bust. That whole sacred process of that sack is bust. And it's no longer sacred of the life of the circleization of that circle of everything that one stand for. The one and the two became the same. He and she became one within the sack, growing and developing together. In violation and breach of that sack bust. Yeah, I want to share some with you. I'm very aware of what it is I'm doing and what I'm able to do with my gifts and my abilities. When I say I am aware of what I'm doing, I'm not possessed. Nothing is taking control over me. No curse was placed upon me. Nah, ain't none of that. Whatever you thinking, it ain't what it is. It's been this way since over 20 years. So I've been doing this work for a very long time. Now, whenever I be or was intimate or have always been intimate with my partners, they will always feel a surge of energy. And my gifts and my energy. I just don't give it out recklessly. You have to be chosen in alignment with the ancient ones, of whom I decide to bring into this way. Now, you'll notice there's a lot of movies out that talk about melanated people with abilities. When you watch the movie Ender's Game talk about this boy who was gifted. He was strategical. He was able to fight strategically. And this boy outmaneuvered or beat the game. But more so, this boy had his own little team. The Dragon Team. If you ain't seen Ender's Game, you can watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it on certain sites that allow you to see it. But it's cold talking about how this boy was communicating with extraterrestrial beings or spider aliens or whatnot. And the queen, he ended up having a relationship with the queen. Go watch Ender's Game. A lot of these movies is coded. You familiar with the movie Shyamalan? The movie Shyamalan talks about this ancient race of being, serpent beings, and how the woman, on how her gifts lay dormant within her till they awaken, and that she was also part of a nectar that was inside of her gifts from a bloodline. Cold talking. But you'll also notice that the names correlate. Everything dealing with Moran, Saffron. Remember I told you Aaron and the on in it. You'll notice also in the movie The May Witches that the young lady in the movie, on how her name also connects with Rowan, R-O-W-A-N. What's up with this? Why everything is similar to Saffron, Moran, Rowan, and May Witches? And that's dealing with a woman, now mind you, vice versa, on how she was adopted. She didn't know about her abilities till she tapped into her abilities, right? Also, you will notice in the movie The Wheels of Time. In the movie The Wheels of Time. Hold on, the ancient one just brought to my attention. They say Dayon. Remember the boy Dayon? This kid who had these powers and the gifts, knocked his cereal over and all of a sudden it was floating in the air. Who was they talking about? And then also you will notice in the movie Wheels of Time that this boy who was part of society, he had an ancient energy inside of him, a power that's inside of him. What's up with this dragon? He had a dragon, ancient power inside of him. Randolph Althor. Rand Althor. That's cold talk. Because the Rand, R-A-N-D, and A-L is the code for 13, and Thor. Because we're going back to the ancient Knights of Templar when they say King Arthur. When King Arthur is also code for King our Thor. King our Thor. King our Thor. King our Thor. To talk about someone who's also twofold. It's coded. He's a king and he's also Merlin. Double talk. And the Knights of the Round Table. So if you understand the code and mystery, everything dealing with the name, Dayon, Rowan, Mepharon, Sephiron, Rand Althor, Rand, R-A-N-D. The only thing missing that will make Rand name similar to someone else's name is the O. The O represent the cipher. The O represent where you get Lucifer from. You get Lucifer, but L-U-C-I-P-H-E-R represent the circle of the halo. Rand, who happened to be this dragon, this man, this young man, this boy who was a man who had this dragon ancient energy inside of him. Only thing missing is the O to say DaRon. Everything is cold talk, because in essence, Hollywood know, these ancient ones know, who's on this planet, who shapeshift in Hollywood to put the message out. Because motion picture is a picture that's in motion. When I was intimate with our sister wife, she said, I feel your power, I feel your energy. And I asked her afterward, what did you feel? Because most would say, I can hear you telepathically talking to me. And she said, I heard you. I ain't finna get too deep off into all that, but understand, we know what we're doing. But she said, I felt a warm energy flow through my hands. And she said, I felt a warm sensation energy flow through my vajayjay all the way on up through my hands. Here's the audio.
I recall that discussion. Yeah, it is. It's like electricity, and I can feel it flowing through my limbs to my fingertips, my toes. It's almost numbing. And do you have complete control? I'm all yours at that point.
This audio says how she feels the energy through her hands. She already said it once before, but then had her to reiterate it because I ain't gonna speak on something I can't cooperate it with facts. Whenever I channel my energy, I could do many things, just like I did when I was young. And I wanted to go to the bed before I fell asleep and go to people's beds who's sick and heal them. So I just want you to be aware that there's a lot of things going on this planet that a lot are not privy to. You see, you have a lot of people who will try to put you in a box. I can't be put in a box. I'm aware of what I'm able to do. No one can say anything about what I have other than what I know what I have and what I'm able to do. So when I say that ancient dragon bloodline is what I have, that's why when you unscramble the word dragon, you will have my name, D-A-R-O, D-A. The G is silent because the G is hidden, O-N. But in essence, we know a dragon is D-A, G-O-N, right? D-R-A-G-O-N. The G represent the G within us all, the divine within us all, the awakened G within us all, once tapped in. Because in most people, certain society of religions, they don't like saying the full name of G-O-D. Some would just say, ironically, some would just say G and D to identify with the nectar. You see? So when you have a connection to the realms, and I've been doing this work over 20 years, I have a relationship with forces seen and unseen, nations of beings from different planets, seen and unseen, leaders, women of society of beings, seen and unseen. We are a new world order. And we are positively reaching out. So understand something, ain't nothing that you can't do, everything you can do when you put your mind to it. Okay? One.